I'm Harry Mays, and this Eagles team was once 8-2, hot off victories over Green Bay and Detroit. They've now lost 3 straight, are 8-5, and hot take artists on the radio in Philadelphia are calling for the quarterback to be benched.
I'm Jason Martinez, and I've got 4 words. 4! They are in trouble.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 words. Big ass friggin' teddy bear. All that and more in this edition of Locked On Eagles Squad Show. That's right. You heard me. Back after this.
Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Eagles Squad. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad Show starting now.
Welcome into this edition of Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Jason Martinez, Harry Mays, Marc Farzetta. This edition is brought to you by the Crossover Thursday, brought to you by PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 bet. Jalen's blame is piece of the pie in all the blame game. The offensive changes apparently that have been made. The defensive line steps up. A Hard Knocks report because, oh my goodness gracious, gentlemen, I can't get enough Hard Knocks. And brace yourself. Hard Knocks. That's obviously going to be rolling throughout this entire collapse, if it is a collapse. And the conversation about a get-right game. But before we really get into anything, you know, I feel like, Jason, you've known me for a long time. Harry, I feel like I'm an open book. I feel like you know me already. I'm a sentimental guy, you know? So can we just have a moment of silence for the positivity bunny? Because I don't like death.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
I feel sad. I want to mourn. I feel like that positivity bunny got John Malkovich at the end of Con Air. You know, why couldn't you just put the bunny down? Like that kind of thing. That's how I feel. And, I thought that positivity bunny was going to be the flower power speech of the year, but obviously it's been deflated already, much like the Eagles offense as of late. Hey-oh, there's a tie-in.
I will tell you that the bunny may be something that these Philly sports teams are onto, and I'll tell you why.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, you'll find it shocking, Harry. As yesterday, I had to go to the Flyers training center to tape a sit-down conversation with the bench boss, Rick Tocchet. And as I'm walking through the offices of the hockey operations staff, I run into our old pal Keith Jones. And Jonesy comes, come in and meet my rabbit. I go, what are you talking about?
No
He takes
way.
me into his office, and he has got this rabbit as a pet. This thing is
A real rabbit.
Harry, is the size of a cat.
Yeah, well, I had a rabbit as a kid before we got a dog. It was like sort of the trial pet to see if we could take care of something.
He was in there training the rabbit, and there's like a whole thing, like an area for it to go to the bathroom, like a kitty litter type thing. He had like a plate of arugula. Apparently the bunny likes arugula.
Oh, my God.
And all kinds of stuff. He's got a bunny in his office. So maybe the bunny is the key.
Well, I mean, Jonesy has a farm, right? Like
He did. He had the Hoof-Hearted farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Hoof-Hearted, but it sounds like Hoof-Hearted.
Right. But is this some animal that he had on the farm and now he's brought it into his office?
This is new in the office. I'm like, he's got I mean, people bring their dogs into the office all the time. They put like a gate up. Like Dave Brown, one of the toughest guys in the world, used to have like 2 chihuahuas running around in his office.
Yeah.
These little mini dogs. I'm like, what's going on? But yeah, Jonesy's got a bunny in his office. Maybe
I never heard of this thing.
And make it a lucky what is it?
Foot.
A lucky
A hoof. Yeah.
A hoof. Yeah, hack it off.
Yeah.
He's trying to teach the bunny how to hop backwards so it can play defense. That's basically what they're doing.
Oh, he's looking to put him on the PP.
Yeah, probably. You know what I mean? I do. I'm a little jealous of the arugula, and I won't go into my family's history with bunnies, but I will just say they were delicious. Anyway,
I'm happy to say I don't have one.
So there you go. Gentlemen, this is a great conflagration, okay?
What?
This Eagles season.
Great word.
Thank you very much. Shout out Mr. Blaney, sophomore year English teacher. Archbishop Wood, what's up? Goodness gracious, gentlemen. This season is a great conflagration. Just when I thought we might be okay, just when I thought, okay, you know what? You go out there against the Chargers, Monday Night Football, lights are on. Nick Sirianni gets more involved in the offense. Maybe holds Jalen Hurts a little bit more accountable than other people. Maybe he'll go out there and change things for the better. Let me say this. I liked the offensive strategy. I despised the offensive execution when it came to Jalen Hurts' performance, A.J. Brown's case of the dropsies, and dumb in-game decision-making by the head coach, Nick Sirianni. Those are my takeaways. And the fact that we have felt terrible about the Eagles Eagles offense that is averaging just over 16 points a game over the last 5 weeks, lowest since Andy Reid was here, by the way.
Wow.
That is over a 5-game stretch. That is utterly embarrassing. And then even more so, Harry, embarrassing when you talk about a Super Bowl champion team the year after they win the Lombardi. Terrible.
Yeah, I mean, this past game against the Chargers had everything that adds up into the poorly coached football team stew. Penalties, turnovers, just wasted plays. I mean, how many times did they get down into the red zone? Right? 4 or 5 times, and they couldn't score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. So, when it's another team, we look at that and say, boy, that's a poorly coached team. I have to say that right now. I don't really know what Nick Sirianni's doing.
Or what he's responsible for.
Well, I will say this. Yeah, I'll say this, though. Watching this game, it's weird. I felt like this game they 100% put on Jalen. And I don't mean like blame after the fact. I mean the strategy over the, 10, 11 days leading into the game. I think one of the things, and we talked about this last week, as a matter of fact, you listened to Nick Sirianni a week ago at his press conference on Monday, coming out of the mini bye, whatever, and he talked about changes they made behind the scenes. I'm not going to get into them, but changes we've made behind the scenes. Well, Nick, is Kevin Patullo still the play caller? Yep.
Yes.
I don't doubt that. I never doubted that. But I also believed at the time that Nick Sirianni was going to take on more responsibility with the offense. Then the report comes out later in the week from Adam Schefter and Tim McManus saying that Nick Sirianni is taking a bigger role in the Eagles offense and even being there in offensive team meetings, presenting information alongside Kevin Patullo, which was different. So then after this game, although it was terrible, you hear Jalen Hurts acknowledge the contributions and give credit to the contributions that Nick Sirianni made throughout the week, while also taking responsibility, Jalen Hurts did, for his own mistakes and terrible throws and decision-making throughout the game. So I know this sounds weird and another poor offensive performance, but I actually like the game plan. I despise the execution. I hate the in-game decision-making. And when it comes to Jalen Hurts' throws and A.J. Brown's drops, that's a recipe for disaster, unfortunately, and that's what you saw in this game.
Well, you know what it was? This is like a high IQ way of shifting blame, is what it is. Okay, I'm going to get back in that room, and then you go out there and you put it all on the quarterback. The best way to take the crosshairs off the coach and the offensive play caller is to have the quarterback go out there and have him be the face of failure. Because now all of a sudden they're not going, well, it's not Kevin Patullo. The quarterback turned the ball over 5 times.
Yeah, but he's not built to throw it 40-plus times. That's not who he is.
Well, that's why it's high-level chess, Harry, because they know that, and they know that he won't succeed doing it, so it'll take the crosshairs off of Sirianni and Patullo so that he can, now the blame goes right to the quarterback. And then you can go back and you can, revisit history and say, well, it's always been on the quarterback. And then you hear, some stuff about Tanner McKee. I don't know where this organization stands right now on Jalen Hurts. I really don't, because I don't know what he's like behind the scenes. And we've heard some rumblings that, quarterbacks can be a little difficult, right? There's a lot of ego there. And sometimes you see the way a quarterback presents himself publicly, and that's not reality behind the scenes. And of course, there's always a lot of resentment amongst teammates because of what they get paid, the credit they get, and all that, and it comes with the turf. But, Jalen Hurts wasn't bad in the game. He was horrible in the game.
Well, I saw
Greg was horrible.
I saw Greg Cosell yesterday on social media, some clip where he's going, he goes through all these games on the All-22 and actually came away thinking that Jalen Hurts didn't play that poorly.
He made some nice throws, Harry.
Obviously, he had the turnovers, and he said that's the easy thing to look at. But when I broke down the throws and the different things that they were doing, he also made it seem like there was a lot of different wrinkles in the offense that might not have, made their way to, the regular eye like me watching the game on television. But I was like, wow, did he watch the same game I did?
It was revealing. Well, look at the drop pass by A.J. Brown in the middle of the field.
Oh, that was a great throw.
And then the drop pass in the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, he put that thing in a cup,
like
a shot glass. That thing was so finely thrown.
Mm-hmm. Like I get to an extent, if you're just looking to evaluate the quarterback here and you're looking to evaluate Jalen Hurts, yes, there were other plays that certainly might have been other people's faults, but like the drop to lead off the game to start the game to A.J. Brown down the field, that was the way the play developed. Like that wasn't the play call. It wasn't like, all right, T.O., go ball, touchdown. Like that wasn't the play call. Like we're going to make a statement. That's the way the play developed. And Jalen's bouncing his head around and then sees A.J. break off his route, improvising, going rogue, if some people want to call it that, but it's literally just a play developing. He goes downfield. Jalen put it on his hands. He drops it. So like, all right, this could have started off a whole lot better, but unfortunately it didn't. Then later in the game, you see the other interceptions, the A.J. Brown ball that was over his head that he went up to catch and made a business decision, as far as I'm concerned, going across the middle. That ball, yes, it could have been thrown better with Jalen, but he did have pressure coming after him. He let it rip to A.J. A.J. deflected in the air. There's another interception. The interception to, I forget who it was, the defensive lineman that dropped back into coverage, ended up picking it off when they were looking for another A.J. Brown throw, I believe it was. That's just a really bad read by Jalen where he didn't see the defensive lineman drop back. Now, normally you're not expecting a defensive tackle, for crying out loud, to drop back into coverage. Jalen's looking to his left. When he came back to the right, the DT had already dropped back, and he puts it right in his chest. And that was the first of course, 2 turnovers that he had on that one play, which is still amazing to think
But that's something we've seen now over the last couple of weeks, that these defensive coaches have dialed in on, that he has trouble picking up zone pressures, like when guys, that typically would be coming at him drop back. He has trouble seeing it. He's thrown a couple picks like that over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I expect more of that.
Yeah, you may need to get to the optometrist. I'm looking at the play, the play sheet from that first drive. And the thing that's killing them, you have the incomplete pass, like you mentioned, Mark, to A.J. Brown. Then you run Barkley up the middle. Again, enough with the up the middle. It's not working at a shotgun. 1 yard gain. Then you get a first down to Goddard. And then it's Barkley on the right side for 3 yards. They're just not getting enough from that running game to help set up the passing game to make it manageable with the play calling. And that's been a huge issue. That's why they stink on third down this year. I mean, they're not bad. And the 3 and outs. Ooh.
Yeah.
It was 31% 3 and outs coming into the game.
I mean, come on.
Which I will say, it hasn't bothered me how bad they've been on third down until the last 2 weeks, because they haven't really gone for first down on third down. They've gone for 4th and short is what they've gone for.
And that doesn't even work anymore for them.
No, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I mean,
that's out of the repertoire. The whole 3rd and 2, well, here comes a tush push. They don't do it anymore.
Well, okay. So let's go to this play again. Were you talking about the 2 turnovers by Jalen Hurts on the one play?
That was 3rd and 2.
That was 3rd and 2.
Yep.
Empty backfield. Backfield. To me, like, you have Saquon, but you're not even going to hint at the idea of running. That was so
why
unbelievable.
don't you invite them into the huddle while you're at it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Billy N says, turning it over twice in the same play was just the story of what this bad news Bears season will be. I mean, I've never seen a guy turn it over twice in one play.
No, I don't know if it's ever happened before.
Charged with turnovers on one play.
Since I love the at least. Since at least 1978, no player has turned it over twice on one play. And then that was the number. Yeah. Since 1970, at least 1978. And then he turned it over again on the next play. So on the next possession. So I don't know how many plays it was. There was essentially 3 turnovers. But that one play on the 3rd and 2, the double turnover, that was, I thought, a microcosm of the entire season. I thought it was a bad play design, bad play call, bad in the situation, and then horrible execution on top of it. Now, the other thing is
there was also that, and right at the end of the half, Mark, you remember when they got the ball back, Adoree Jackson picked them off.
Yeah.
And you can see Hurts on the sideline talking the coach into, let's run a play. Like, it almost seemed like Sirianni just wanted to go to the locker room. And Hurts is like, let's go. And then he couldn't find his helmet. Remember? Like that. Those two plays kind of sum up what's going on with this team right now.
Yeah, like what is going on down there? It's like a fire drill to do the simple things. You have to execute the simple things and the things you can control with perfection, because there's enough variables that you have to, deal with in a game that you can't find your helmet. Like, what, did somebody come down and steal it? Like, what are we doing?
I thought Tanner McKee might have taken it.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I had the same thought.
It's a joke.
Breaking news, Harry?
Yeah. What do you? Is this a report?
I put that out on X, and some people just can't take the joke. They were just,
jeez. Yeah.
We live in serious times. We live in serious times, unfortunately.
It really do.
But no, that was when I say that I hated the game decisions. That's one of them. Because look, they give you 3 more seconds. They go from 7 to 10 seconds. You got your timeouts. Run it up the quarterback draw. Run it up the middle with Saquon. Like, they seem like they were completely caught off guard as a coaching staff that even happened. Plus, at the same time, you're telling Jake Elliott to go out there. Then you're like, no, Jake, come back. Okay, no. Now you're going to go back on after a nothing play to the sideline. Exactly. And then he misses the field goal.
There just seemed to be no conviction out of the head coach on that sequence there. Zero. He can be talked into anything. That's not good.
No,
you can't have a coach that's impressionable by the players. He's supposed to be the guy that is. He doesn't call plays, so he's got the big picture, right? And he can be decisive. We go for it.
He's the commander in chief of the football game.
Yeah, he's like Sean Connery and Humphrey. He's on the con. He makes the decisions,
right?
And the decisions right now. Oh, should we port left or no? You're porting right into a missile. Like this is unbelievable, because this is also a guy when the juxtaposition of it is. He was massively convicted before with some of his 4th down calls and the way I believe in my guys.
Yeah.
He's making it really easy to go from a guy that was really successful and we maybe had to like to being really friggin' unlikable right now. Like I
don't have to like him though.
No, I don't. If you win.
I really don't.
And that was the case before for me. But right now it looks like a gong show out there and a fire drill.
It has.
And I'm going, what are you doing about it?
Yeah,
a lot of empty
I'm
words
more up.
Him.
Yeah, I understand. I know it's the Raiders, but I am optimistic about the way this season ends for the Eagles.
Me too.
I know that's a rare thing,
me
especially.
Too.
Yeah. Okay. You and I are on the same page there.
Yeah.
Let's just. Okay. Let's not.
No. Not just not about the Raiders, but about the way this season ends. There is too much turmoil to sweep under the carpet right now.
I'm talking about the regular season.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Marc,
I don't.
You're as well, right? You're just talking about regular season.
I'm just. Oh yeah, I don't see a Super Bowl contender.
Right. Okay.
But I'm like in terms of
Raiders and 2 games against the Commanders and 1 on the road against Buffalo. So I understand why you feel a little optimistic.
Yeah.
But I don't feel this team to me has got so much scar tissue now this year that I just don't know that at this point in the season. I mean, we're sitting here on December 11th, and these are major problems for a team that started out 8-2.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how you turn around. It looks like there's too much momentum to failure here for me.
I'm looking at it as you have 4 games with, and I don't want to talk about the Bills game as anything less than what it is, but I do look at, and I understand what Greg Cosell is saying to the point you were making earlier, Harry. This looked like a different team in terms of what they wanted to do on the football field. They wanted to throw the ball more. Now, I'm not saying that's the greatest thing in the world for Jalen Hurts, but what I am saying is they needed to be more aggressive as an offense. It certainly didn't pay off. There were opportunities for the Eagles to do some good things in this game, and they could not have gone worse.
Yeah.
And one of those examples is the next player we're about to talk about here with Jalen Hurts. But to wrap it up when it comes to the coaching and overall optimism at the end of season, I think I will say this right now is the low point of the regular season.
This is rock bottom?
This is rock bottom. For the regular season, we will feel a lot better about this football team by the end of the regular season than we do right now. I feel like you can look at the last 4 games of this season with changes made offensively that I believe is the influence of Nick Sirianni, which now Jalen Hurts, including yesterday, has acknowledged twice, which he doesn't just throw that around unless something really happened. I look at these next 4 games, and I know this is a little over the top, but I'm going to say it's like this, but not this. It's like you have 4 preseason games to end the year to show the team you could be in the postseason, to get on the same page with new offensive ideas, a new offensive philosophy, and you can attack from that point on. If you can get right in the last 4 games of this regular season, I think fans are going to feel a lot better about their odds in the postseason.
I had a buddy that's an addict, and he said, I hit rock bottom. Then I found out rock bottom had a basement. You know what I mean? You think like in 2023, what was rock bottom? Was it the loss to Seattle? Then you beat the Giants, and then you lose the last 2 games to Arizona and the New York Giants.
The Arizona loss was devastating.
Yeah, that was that. You thought you hit rock bottom, but then you had the Arizona game, and you go, "Oh man, I didn't know I had a backhoe down here at rock bottom, and I could dig deeper."
Yeah,
and it just fell apart. I don't know. I do believe in that flow of a season, and it's really hard to stem a tide that's got momentum, and that's what I worry about with this team. And whether it's players not believing in each other, look, the health is a part of it, especially with that offensive line. That ain't getting fixed. So I just don't feel great about where they're headed at all. And I just don't know that the coach has a handle on this group. And he's the leader.
Yeah.
And I think he's panicking a little bit. When players sense panic out of the captain of the ship, oh, man, the ship is sinking fast.
I hear that. Okay, real quick, before we get out of this segment, and I want to get in this one Jalen Hurts throw in the next segment, and then we'll also get into some of the offensive changes. Is anyone here? We ended the show last week with this. I'll start it with this. Is anyone here benching Jalen Hurts? I'll go first. No. Okay.
No, I mean the only way that Tanner McKee gets in there for me is either if he gets hurt or you have a game that just absolutely means nothing, and you're headed to the postseason.
I agree.
It can't change your seeding or anything like that.
All right, we're going to talk about one more Jalen Hurts throw when we come back, talk about some offensive changes we'd like to see. And one thing I did notice about this game, we'll get into it when we come back. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel.
All right, let me tell you about PrizePicks. Well, this is a way that sometimes you watch the games and they may not be enjoyable because your rooting interest is not being served. But this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. I make decisions every day, but PrizePicks, well, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season, whether you're following the NFL, NBA, NHL, both, whatever it is. There's no better time to jump in on the action. And if you haven't tried it yet, PrizePicks is the simplest way to play. This is really simple. Just pick more or less. You can't get more simple than that on at least 2 player stats. And if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup, and you can play anywhere PrizePicks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia, and of course here. Check out PrizePicks for football Sundays. Grab a couple players, more or less. NBA, more or less. Same thing in the NHL. It's really easy to operate. If you want to go with the Eagles, you can pick more than 1 turnover on 1 play for Jalen Hurts, maybe, if that's on there. The new Stacks feature is a game changer. You can now pick more on touchdowns, rushing yards, whatever it might be, and see how your predictions play. Plus, if one of your players, this is cool, leaves the game early with an injury, the injury reboot will save your lineup from the loss. That is like insurance for your money. Now, download the PrizePick app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL, and that'll get you $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Yeah, $5 earns you $50. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
Welcome back
to the Jalen Hurts Squad Show.
I know, right? All right, one more play here from Jalen Hurts after watching the All-22 on it, and it's the last play. You guys remember the first interception of the year that he threw? I think it was the first one against the Giants. It was that play where AJ's open back of the end zone.
He was trying to get it to Dotson, I think, wasn't it?
I see why he never targets Dotson, because it seems like every time he does, he throws an interception. So he's targeting Jahan Dotson in this particular play. Now, my problem going all the way back to the first Giants game was it wasn't just the interception that bothered me. The way the play ended was like the least thing that bothered me. The fact that it was a terrible pre-snap read, the fact that it was a terrible throw, the fact that it was a terrible decision resulted in the interception. So that's what's going to happen. Very similar feeling after going back and watching the all 22 of this play, because you really do see how much Khalil Mack was just staring down Jalen Hurts, being like, are you going to pull that? Are you going to pull that? Because it's an RPO, like a half-ass attempt at an RPO to Saquon Barkley. So half-ass attempt. This is the final play of the Eagles of the game. Jalen puts it in the belly of Saquon for a second, pulls it immediately, and Khalil Mack is perfectly positioned. Jalen still pulls it out of Saquon's stomach, runs to the right, gives a little scamper to the right, and immediately tries to fire over Khalil Mack off his back foot to Jahan Dotson, who, if he catches it, he's probably going out of bounds at the 2-yard line. It gets tipped by Cam Hart, who had one of the best games of the season by any cornerback in the NFL. He tips it up, interception, game over. 2 things I would like to see from Jalen Hurts on that. One thing I want to remind everybody, it was first down.
Right. You can throw it away.
Yeah, either put it at the feet of Dallas Goedert, who's in front of you. Either get 2 yards from Dallas Goedert or spike it at his feet, or, and I think it's unlikely he's able to complete it to Goedert based on how Khalil Mack was coming in, or you're on a read option, you're supposed to be reading the defensive end. You didn't do that. If you would have read the defensive end, you probably just would have given it to Barkley, and he goes up the middle for a yard, maybe.
Right. Because it's like he was determined right away that he was throwing that football.
The pre-snap decision being made, or the decision being made pre-snap, is a huge problem for Jalen Hurts. And that's been for a while. Last year, it was a strength. This year, it's like, oh, we know when these, as a defense, when we talk about predictability, certainly you can talk about Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni and all that. Mm-hmm. But it's also the predictability of Jalen Hurts. We know as a defense how to manipulate him. Okay, we'll show him this, and then we know where he moves his pawn, and then we come in and we take him out. That's what defenses are doing this year. It's not just the predictability of Kevin Patullo, which is huge still. Yeah. It's also the predictability of Jalen Hurts. Yeah,
you're spot on. After all the tape and all the games, these coaches get paid a lot of money. They figure out, what is this guy's, what does he do in these situations? If he gets a little pressure or whatever, they know how he's going to react. And that defense on Monday night, I mean, they were like a half a step or a step and a half ahead of him on most of those plays.
Because they tip off the snap every time in shotgun.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the play sheet, these are the numbers from the game against Chargers. 29 plays out of shotgun. The Eagles offense averaged 3.2 yards per play out of shotgun, 2.9 yards per rush, and 3.4 yards per pass out of shotgun. Under center, where they did it triple eight times, they averaged 9.4 yards per play, 7.6 yards per rush, and 22 yards per pass.
Yep, but yet they don't do it.
In shotgun 29 times, under center 8 times. And this isn't just this game.
No.
All season
this
long.
This is a trade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I bet the Chargers had more plays under center with a quarterback with a busted paw.
Not a busted paw, a busted paw that just had surgery.
Yeah, right. With a couple of pins in it.
He had like the Luke Skywalker mechanical hand on after Darth Vader chopped it off an Empire. Like it had no touch or feel to it, right, Harry?
Yeah. He was getting beat up too, man. That guy was a gamer on Monday night.
And they were targeting that.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I would have went Ash from Evil Dead 3, I believe, Evil Dead Army of Darkness. I would have went that route when it came to the mechanical hand, but to each their own, I guess. Yeah, it was pretty terrible. It was pretty terrible. But when you talk about being under center and throwing over the middle of the field, this is one of the offensive changes that I saw in this game. This offensive change was not only just Jalen, you're going to win this game, but Jalen, you got to step out of your comfort zone if we're going to rally at the end of the year. Like if we're going to get anything right, Jalen Hurts had the highest completion percentage, like 71.2 over the middle of the field. The problem is he doesn't throw over the middle of the field. It is so few and far between when he does it, that when he does it, he has to know that that's a throw he can make and that's a throw that's there. So that's the interesting give and take of that. Like, if people say he doesn't throw over the field and somebody counters it with, well, he's got the highest completion percentage of anyone thrown over the middle of the field. Yeah, but if he does it 3 times and he's 3 for 3, that ain't that impressive.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So this game, it looked like they were making him do that a lot more. Like, that was the play call a lot more. Or like the interception where there was the 2 turnovers in one play. He made the progression to the middle of the field, let it rip, and unfortunately it wasn't there. Or he let it rip to A.J. Brown over the middle of the field. He tips it up, and it's an interception. But it definitely felt like, Jalen, you're going to do things where you're not comfortable because eventually you'll be comfortable doing them. That to me was one of the biggest glaring differences in this particular game about what they were having Jalen Hurts do against the Chargers. And obviously it didn't work. There were plays to be made. There were plays there, but he didn't make them.
I would feel a lot better about this season if Nick Sirianni came out in his presser and said, we're going to run the rest of the year under center. I'm looking at this tweet from Shane Haff in NFL. He says, coaching malpractice in a nutshell. Saquon rushing stats. Under center, 10 carries for 102 yards, 10.2 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. 50%.
One was the 52-yarder.
Okay, so let's take that out, Harry. If you remove the 52-yard touchdown from under center because it was gimmicky, it's still 9 carries for 50 yards, 5.6 yards per carry, and a 44.4 success rate. Shotgun, 10 carries, 22 yards, 10% success rate. He said, when people ask what coaching malpractice looks like, show them this tweet.
Wow.
Unreal.
So 9 carries, 50 yards when you take away the big one, which was kind of a trickish play anyway.
Yeah, he called it gimmicky.
Yeah, it was it was almost
quick
looking
snap,
like a tush push kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, quick snap, but
where's the reluctance? Can that question be asked to Sirianni in the presser? Where's the reluctance to play more under center? Is it in their play design from a design standpoint? It feels like the RPO option, whatever it is, or is it the quarterback is really resistant to playing under center? That's what we
probably what it is.
I think you're right, Harry.
It's probably what it is.
Dictating that term, because I think he feels like he can see the field better.
But he'll never say that. Even if he's asked that good question, he would never say it.
Yeah, and the thing is he feels like he can see the field better, things develop, but the numbers don't belie that fact.
Right.
Well, okay, so it's like throwing over the middle. He's got good numbers thrown over the middle. They just never throw over the middle because apparently he's not comfortable doing it. But if you remember after the
back in the press conferences,
right. If you go back and listen to what he had to say after the Vikings game, where they were under center and had play action passes actually, and they had what did he have 3 touchdown passes in that game?
That was his best game of the year.
Best game of the year.
Yeah. After
the game. Hey, you were a little bit more under center, and there were some play action passes. Yeah, it was something I was championing along the week to do. And I don't know because I don't get the sense that Jalen is an embellisher or liar. Like, I don't get that vibe from him. I feel like he's a pretty honest guy, and like he doesn't want to lie. That's a better way to say it. He doesn't want to lie. You can kind of tell when he's trying to fudge the truth a little bit, but I don't think he ever exaggerates his own doing. I think he'll credit other people before he credits himself for anything. Yeah. So I hear the stories about how, he doesn't want to run. He doesn't want to be under center. And then I see him break off a 17-yard run against the Chargers, but it gets called back because of a Cam Jurgens
holding penalty. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, he'll still do it. He did it at the end of the Bears game too, but that was kind of in case of emergency, break glass, which, by the way, is kind of when I want Jalen to run. In case of emergency, break glass, not be a one-read wonder and be done with it and run like a Kaepernick or an Alex Smith going back to those Jim Harbaugh teams of the 49ers. I wanted to progress. I wanted to go through the progressions. It didn't work out in this game, obviously, against the Chargers. Now, listening to the conversation about him not wanting to be under center, when I've heard him say not only does he want to be under center, doesn't mind being under center, he suggested being more under center. So, go for it, man. Let's ride that out. If you're Nick Sirianni, if you're Kevin Patullo, you already – I hate to use the word force, but you already called for him to throw the ball over the middle more so in this game against the Chargers. So keep going under center. If it's working for the run game and it helps the passing game because you could build play action off of it, obviously, then why is this shouldn't be this difficult? This isn't that hard.
I know. It's not rocket science. They also had a touchdown to AJ called back because of a holding penalty on Mailata.
They did, yeah. That was bull, by the way.
That was questionable, but they called it. They ended up kicking a field goal that took 4 points off the board. So
yeah, it was certainly a rough one. But I will say, for the people that might be blind Jalen loyalists and won't acknowledge faults, and maybe they'll blame all coaching, they'll blame all A.J. Brown drops, whatever. It is insane to me that your quarterback almost had, when you really think about it, he almost had 7 turnovers in this game. Because remember, he got hit as he threw. It was ruled an incomplete pass in the red zone.
Oh, right.
Could have very easily been a fumble, but I will say throughout the year, they've been calling it like that. If there's
close.
it was very close.
Yeah.
And that's how they called it this year. Then you also talk about, there was another, I think, tipped ball that could have also been intercepted. Oh, no, it was the interception that ended up dropping between the safety's arms and hitting the turf barely.
Right.
Yep. You're talking
that was
about,
a good call, too. It was a good call. Hit the ground.
Yeah. What do they call it now? The instantaneous review?
Oh, yeah.
Or replay assistance or whatever. I forget what they call it.
Yeah, replay assistance.
Yeah. He could have had 7 turnovers in this game.
But give him credit. Like, still in overtime, he's still chucking it down the field.
Yeah.
Like, he's still
3rd and 6. This is the thing that makes me want to bang my head against the wall.
You.
Yeah. How do you drop the ball in a shot glass, Jason, as you said it, to A.J. Brown? How do you drop it in a shot glass to A.J. Brown like that?
Well, the defender did get his hand in between his arms.
That was
right, but in terms of the drop, I don't think they called that a drop. I thought they called that a pass breakup. But either way, A.J., you want him to fight for that and get it, obviously. But just in terms of the throw and where the ball was,
it was a great throw. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah,
and then
it's the best throw of the season.
Yeah, 3rd and 16. Down the middle of the field, threads the needle to Devontae Smith, and you're like, what?
Another great throw. Yep. Threw him open through 4 or 5 guys. It was like when he releases that ball, he's not open. You can't even see him. And then as the ball gets there, he comes darting through 2 guys. That was a beautiful throw.
Beautiful.
And then
was beautiful.
And then the terrible decision to try to get it to Jahan Dotson.
I've had enough of this Dotson experiment. Enough.
Well, no, see, I want more Dotson experiment. I want more because I want him. I want him to. I want Jalen Hurts to see the field. I want him to see who's open. We talked about it in the Bears.
I don't want to see him on the field. That's my problem. I want A.J. Brown, Devontae, and I want Goddard.
Oh, look at you.
Guys that I feel like
Isn't he a Penn State guy? Isn't he a Penn State guy? That
anymore.
Dotson character?
Dotson is. Yeah.
We sent him out with Dave Franklin.
He's a Lehigh Valley guy.
Is that right, Harry?
Oh, yeah.
Turning on your own.
Same with Saquon.
Living here in Allentown.
But anyway, he makes the terrible throw through. But I want, like, he had a completion to Darius Cooper, I think it wasn't. Yeah, in this game.
Yes.
But in the previous game against the Bears, we talked about it, the 3rd and 17, 3rd and 18, whatever it was, when he's rolling to his right before the half. He's got Cooper open, middle of the field. Then he's got Cooper open for a possible touchdown, and he dumps it down to Will Shipley for a do-nothing 3rd and
give-up play.
Yeah, it was an 11-yard gain on 3rd and 19.
Yep.
Yeah. I want him trusting other receivers because you know what? You know what's funny? If you throw to more players, they're less likely to know who you're going to throw to. Right. In other words, less predictable.
I agree with you, Farzi, but I just don't think that's going to be happening between now and the end of the season whenever it ends. I think it is what it is. Yeah.
You need the top players to step it up, and that's it. End of story.
Right. When we come back, I'll take care of this one, boys. When well, in terms of the read. But when we come back,
I got this one.
Oh, you're gonna do this one?
Health.
Look at you!
Oh yeah.
What was this? 2 for $1? All
right, Zocdoc.
When we come back, you could say Jalen, made some throws that might have put the Eagles ahead, but the reason that he even was in the possibility is because of the way the defensive line played. If you guys haven't seen these numbers on how the defensive line played, it makes you feel a hell of a lot better about what this defense could do when Jalen Carter does come back. We'll talk about that and more when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel.
All right, let me tell you about Zocdoc. I've been very transparent about my health journey over the last year plus. But guys, this is important. In 2025, almost now 2026, the days of waiting for something to become a full-blown emergency before you see a doctor, they got to be over. No more walking it off or just assuming your health issues are age-related or whatever. For 6 months, no more pretending that maybe shoulder stiffness or, I just slept wrong, or it's time to take your health more seriously. It's something that I am doing going forward, and I wish I would have done sooner. And Zocdoc makes it easier than ever. That's part of the issue. Sometimes we think it's going to be complicated. Staying healthy is more than hitting the gym and eating right. It's actually about getting things checked out when something feels off. Don't ignore it. Don't do what I did. Use Zocdoc. Make the scheduling super easy. Search for an in-network doctor and book right on the app. Real appointment times are listed, including same-day visits. No more back-and-forth phone calls or waiting weeks to be seen by a doctor. When you know something's off, get to the doctor. Super helpful for routine checkups and the issues that you might be having to get checked out. It lets you compare providers using real patient reviews, not ads, and it makes it simple to keep your health a priority, even with a busy schedule. We all got busy. I thought I was too busy, too much going on to be sick. I've used it to schedule appointments quickly, and when I didn't want to wait weeks, when maybe there's a little bit of a sense of urgency there as well. It helps you stay on top of your health before something becomes a bigger problem. Take it from me. I went through it. The app is quick, clean, and honestly, it removes all the stress of finding the right doctor for what's going on. So stop putting off your doctor's appointments. Get the care you need. Advocate for yourself. Go to ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNFL to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Again, that's ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNFL. ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNFL. Now you know why I needed to read that.
Well,
there you go.
There you go.
Something I am working on for 2026.
When I was watching this game, gentlemen, I did have the thought that this was maybe the worst offensive line played game of the season, at least on both sides. It felt like Jalen a lot of time.
Not good.
He hasn't been good all year, right?
No,
I mean we're all like after last year.
I think there's going to be off-season surgeries for a bunch of these guys.
Yeah, I know, Jason. You said earlier about the offensive line not getting better. I think they will get better when Lane Johnson comes back. I feel like that'll be better.
My question about that is, when he comes back, what is he when he comes back after that layoff, and can he stay healthy when he comes back? Because even before he went out with this, he's in and out of the game like a little Jason Peters-ish, right?
Yeah. Fair.
But they aren't able to run that jumbo package without Lane Johnson in there.
With Fred,
remember they tried it with Fred Johnson and Pryor as the extra guy, and it didn't work so well. They've kind of gone away from it since then, right?
Because they don't have that extra guy anymore.
Yeah,
right. Because it's not Fred Johnson coming as the extra guy; it's Matt Pryor coming as the extra guy. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, Matt Pryor's not that good.
He's not an extra guy.
No, he's not. He literally is an extra guy, but he's like not a good extra guy. But I understand what you're saying. But I do want to make sure we give a lot of credit to the defense for even keeping them in that football game. I mean, everyone can look at the sexy number there, the 7 sacks, right?
Yeah.
I saw this after the game, and I just went, wait, is this for the Eagles or like all of football this year? And it's all of football this year. So listen to this, courtesy of NFL.com. Eagles generated 68.3% pressure rate against the Chargers. The highest by any team this season and 6th highest in any game since 2018.
Wow.
Now, let me just remind everybody, Jalen Carter didn't play.
Yeah.
This is
dual shoulder injuries.
First off, when I saw a procedure on each shoulder, I was like, he had surgery on both shoulders on the same day? What? Yeah, and it's that
somebody's got to be spoon-feeding his meals.
What was an injection? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like platelets or something. Yeah, an injection. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty wild. Also, 8 Eagles defenders generated at least 3 pressures, the most by any team in a game this season. Jalen Phillips and Nolan Smith led the team with 7 pressures apiece. That's
Jalen Phillips was all over the place. He disappeared for a game or so. That was good to see. That was good to see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Davis was a beast.
Mm-hmm. No, he absolutely was. And this also kind of bleeds into the Hard Knocks report I want to give you guys. So I watched the second episode of this season, and obviously they're featuring all of the
NFC East, right?
NFC East, yeah.
Yeah.
Big ass friggin' teddy bear. Okay. That was what I used in my open.
Yes. This is where it's relating to the Hard Knocks.
Clint Hurt, the Eagles defensive line coach, is addressing the defensive line room. Okay. So Jahad Campbell's in there, rookie Ty Robinson's in there, two rookies essentially. And Jordan Davis is like lounging back on his chair, kind of bouncing back and forth. And he's sitting right next to Clint Hurt, who's standing up, addressing the room. Brandon Graham's in there. Everyone's in it. And Clint Hurt goes, this is a game where I know we're not going to have JC, but we got some other, MFers that are in here that can play. And we got some other guys in here that got to step up and play. And Jordan Davis, while sitting down, points to Jahad Campbell and points to Ty Robinson. And Clint Hurt looks down on him and he goes, I'm talking about you too there, big boy. He's like, you got to step up and you got to play this game too. And Jordan Davis is like, I'm going to be here. I'm just supporting the young guys, man. They got to step up and do their job. I'm here to do my job. I mess with everybody. We're cool. And Clint Hurt just goes, big ass freaking Care Bear. And then starts without missing
called him
a
Care Bear?
Care Bear. I'm sorry, Care Bear, not Teddy Bear.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Big ass freaking Care Bear. And then goes right back to what he was saying in the meeting. And I went, this Clint Hurt guy's okay.
Wow.
And then Jordan Davis gets interviewed afterwards and all that. And it was funny. It was very funny. It was a moment of levity when you know the impending doom of the game coming Monday night against the Chargers. But then it also makes you go back to the number of, again, the highest pressure rate of the season was had by this Eagles defense entirely, including edge rushers and all that. And also Nakobe Dean. Don't want to forget about that. It just shows you, how good this team could be and how much they got up knowing they were going to be missing a guy like Jalen Carter. So I thought that was a good moment from the Hard Knocks crew. There was one very negative part. If you guys remember, my man Seth Joyner ripped the Eagles for using a tackling donut. I know this went viral like a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe. Yeah, it was before the bye week last year, before they turned everything around. They got rid of the tackling donut after Seth ripped them. Okay. So I'm watching the Eagles practice on Hard Knocks, and they have Nick Sirianni looking out over his practice, over his team, and moment of pride, it looks like, for Nick Sirianni. And then they cut to another scene, and they get a far shot of Nick Sirianni. And in between the camera and Nick Sirianni rolls a tackling donut. And then I think it was Marcus Epps. He jumps out of nowhere and tackles it and takes it down. And I thought, the last time I saw that, the Eagles were 2-2 at the bye week, and I sure as hell saw a lot of it during 2023 when they couldn't tackle anything. Are we doomed again? Now that they brought back the tackling donut? I thought we acknowledged that this is a really bad idea.
You're doomed because Seth is probably going to beat you down because of it. So good luck.
I didn't suggest bringing it back.
You're just going to be collateral damage simply because you're going to be like 4 feet away from him.
Yeah,
shooting the messenger.
It doesn't matter. He kills the messenger. He doesn't shoot the messenger. He kills the messenger.
And how about that? Ty Robinson only got 7 snaps in that game with no Jalen Carter.
Odd. That makes me worried. That makes me concerned, to say the absolute least. I don't like that. But overall, the one last thing I'll say about the Hard Knocks episode, and it doesn't have anything to do with the Eagles other than Zach Ertz. So the hit that he took against the Vikings was obviously brutal. And I was wondering if Hard Knocks was going to feature Zach Ertz more, knowing that look, it's obviously not a great happening, but if you're Hard Knocks and you're trying to tell a story, here's a 35-year-old Super Bowl winning, game-winning touchdown scoring in the Super Bowl tight end, 5th most catches by a tight end in the history of the NFL. He's played for another team in the NFC East where he played, 8+ years. And that it's ending Sunday. They edited it. I mean, it really was beautiful. They showed the kind of player Zach Ertz is. They have one of his position coaches talking about how when he talks to young players, he says, you got to be like 2 people. You got to be like 2 people, Larry Fitzgerald and Zach Ertz. So the Hard Knocks crew did a great job of at least telling the story of Zach Ertz, but the ending, unfortunately. Yeah. He gets hit. They get him on the field. They take him off the field. He's crying.
On a cart. Yeah.
On a cart. It's it's not the ending anybody wants, obviously, but they at least really gave him his flowers about the type of player and type of career he's had. Because I've said it, I don't know if I've said it to you guys, but I know I've said this before. Zach Ertz might be the most underappreciated Philadelphia athlete ever. Like, you think about his career here in Philadelphia, and like think about 116 catches in one season. People hate it because they focus on Carson Wentz, focusing on Zach Ertz too much, you know?
Yeah.
You talk about a game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, people are like, oh, yeah, that's right. Whereas they talk about Philly special, and they also talk about the strip sack. Like, the guy that scored the game-winning touchdown is like, oh, yeah, that's right, he did that too. Like, well, it's wild.
It's funny you say that because I was listening to the NFL radio on Sirius maybe a week or so ago, and they were talking about Zach Ertz, and they were comparing him historically, tight ends. He's, saying like he's got like Hall of Fame-ish kind of numbers when you start to look at it.
I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
The one thing he's missing is that big moment in the postseason. And I'm like, what? Did you not watch the Super Bowl? Like, he made one of the biggest catches in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it was a controversial catch.
Yes, and they won the game. So he does have that pelt on his wall. What are you talking? There's a guy doing national radio on the NFL channel. I couldn't believe it.
He's got longevity, too. I mean, he's played 13 seasons.
Yeah.
If you can believe that.
He's a stat compiler now. Now he'll get knocked for that.
Oh, yeah. Right.
He got 8,592 yards in his career. I mean, that's insane.
But he was never one of the guys that would take he'd take a 10-yard catch, he'd catch it for 10 yards. Like, that's the knock that you
He wasn't Antonio Gates or
he wasn't a guy that takes that 10-yard pass and makes it a 40-yard touchdown.
He's not a modern tight end, like one of those guys that runs like a wide receiver but is a tight end.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was absolutely reliable.
Yeah.
And that's what you wanted. I mean, that's like one of the key things in a tight end.
Yeah.
Goddard's kind of that guy. I mean, stay on the field.
Yeah, and drops weren't a thing with him. That's the other thing. Like, he caught the ball, and he got the 10-yard pass for the 10-yard gain. There wasn't the yak wasn't a big thing. Oh, he doesn't stiff arm anybody. You just got 10 yards. Like, what are we talking about here?
He was a good citizen here too. Good citizen.
Goddard was really good last week. Practically every catch he made resulted in a first down.
He was pretty money.
Good all year.
He has.
He really is having a really good season. I mean, I don't know if he's motivated by the dollar. He's going to get paid.
Yep.
Well, it had been 4 weeks since he had more than 2 catches in a game. So they kind of
they went away from him.
I referenced something. I don't know if I talk about this with you guys or not. I don't remember, but after the Bears game, Mike Sealski, I got to give him credit. He asked a great question to Dallas Goedert after the Bears game. And he said, do you ever feel like you catch defenses off guard as an offense? Do you ever feel like you're throwing something at a defense that they didn't see coming?
Like,
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert's like,
that's the answer right there.
Nope. That's a tough question. I just feel like we got to execute. We got to play better. Like, he goes into it was a great question. It really was a great question by Sealski.
Anything you say in Kenan will be used against you. So be careful.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, first off, for people watching this is Dallas Goedert. He plays tight end for the Eagles. The Eagles forgot that he existed, but it might be a good game to get him going again here against the Chargers. And that's exactly what they did. I give him, at least they got involved in the game plan early. I don't remember I'm looking up the number of catches that he did. And
he had that first down catch on the first drive.
Yes, he did. 8 catches, 78 yards.
Yep.
That's what you want from a tight end, right? How many targets?
10 targets. 10 targets.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you want. Like, that's why I was saying earlier, enough of this Dotson crap, because you give me A.J. Brown, give me Devonta, and give me Dallas Goedert. Go with what works. Enough trying to be, reinventing the wheel.
Get a little more
your ass under center.
Exactly.
Tank Bigsby got his obligatory 1 carry.
Yeah, he could have 4 to 6, right, Harry? If you're going to spell
4 would
Saquon,
be good. Yeah,
let him go in there and power run a little bit on fresh legs when needed.
They did have some 2-back sets, but it's usually Shipley in there with.
Did I see the wishbone at one point? I feel like I saw the wishbone at one point.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think they should bust out the run and shoot.
Yeah.
At this point.
The wishbone. Wow.
I swear, I looked up, I was like, is that the wishbone offense? What are they doing here?
You're a fullback.
I'll have to go back and look at it.
Was Jamel Holloway in the game at quarterback?
What a pull.
Remember him?
On the tip of your tongue, top of your head. Listen to that. When we come back, I want to talk about what we can get into here. We should get into what we're going to get into when it comes to the Raiders game. this weekend, 1 o'clock. Talk about that more when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. And I'm pushing buttons for no reason. Car gurus, everybody. Listen up for you car gurus. You guys car people? Car gurus is what you need, because car gurus is where it is at. When you talk about car gurus, talk about car shopping and how it should feel exciting, not confusing. With car gurus, you get the confidence you deserve. Also, they cut through all the noise so you can actually see the best deals on cars that you want, because when it comes to the big purchase, you deserve the best deal. And Car Gurus makes what the whole process really should be. The whole process, very simple. And it's made simple by giving you real information, real deal ratings, and more listings than anyone else, so you can shop the way you want with Car Gurus. Use Car Gurus deal ratings to compare cars quickly without having to guess whether the price is fair or not. You'll love being able to filter by everything: mileage, trim, features. So you're only seeing the cars that you actually want and the cars that fit what you actually need. Having verified dealerships upfront pricing makes the whole thing feel transparent and stress-free. Car Gurus connects you to the trusted dealerships for a transparent and hassle-free buying process with over 4 million listings. The most of any major online automotive marketplace, you'll always find the best deal. Shop the way you want with tools, data, and unbiased deal ratings that make it easy. Buy or sell your next car today at cargurus.com. That's car, C-A-R, car, guru, G-U-R-U-S.com, cargurus.com.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
Go for it.
I just saw this as we're doing the program. One of the local sports yackers on sports radio said the following. I'll see if you can guess who it is. Said that Sunday should be Jalen Hurts' last chance to keep his starting job. Quote, he has earned the right to start the game on Sunday versus the Raiders, but that's the end of where I go with earn, deserve, and all those kind of words. As this season progresses, it's on the table for me that I would pull the plug.
Is it Giglio?
Bingo!
Yeah. Well, that's what I was referencing in my open. Him specifically. But not that quote. That's a different one. Yeah. I mean, what are we doing?
I can't.
Let me get this out of the way. I got no. I like Joe. Joe's a great dude. I know he's not the only. I'm on a personal basis. I don't want anyone to think there's any axe to grind or anything, but not just about his opinion, but other people with this opinion, and other people include members of the Philadelphia Eagles who, for whatever reason, want to put it out there in the ether that, hey, Tanner McKee could run this offense, because you're hearing from reporters on it. You're not hearing it really from analysts like Tanner McKee needs to play. No, the people are being fed information,
floated,
and it's not just about struggles. Yeah, it's not just about struggles of Jalen Hurts. It's specifically, Tanner McKee can run this offense. That's coming from the Eagles. So this isn't all hot takes and all media members. This is also the Eagles putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like this year, gentlemen, it's a lot of people's first day watching football. Like, I feel like people haven't watched the 50-some years of the Super Bowl era Philadelphia Eagles. They finally have someone who is a franchise-winning Super Bowl quarterback, and they've never had that. And they are all about, all right, well, what do we talk about if you got a guy that's your franchise quarterback, but he's already won the Super Bowl? We didn't have that with Donovan. We didn't have that with Randall. What do we do? Oh, you still rip him anyway and want to bench him for the backup? Like,
old habits die
so
hard.
I'll tell you this much, okay? You go back to and this is what really pisses me off about this season in particular, because you finally have the thing that you've always wanted. And now that you have it, you're still doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I listened to people after the Rams game, and I'm talking about people that love Jalen Hurts. And those people after the Rams game this year, people were like, I told you Jalen could throw. I told you Jalen could let it rip. And I'm like, I know you're being positive, but did you miss the Super Bowl where he was the MVP chucking it all over the field against Kansas City Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo's defense?
Put a kill shot on him when they turned the ball over.
No game was over at halftime.
Everybody's first day. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
I know.
It's unfortunate because like this could be a good rational conversation if some of these yackers didn't have to be so extreme with it. Like it's a fun conversation and debate, and that's what sports radio is about, and that's why sports are great. But to go to these extremes is so friggin' disingenuous and clickbaitish that it's painful. Like, I don't know Joe, and I've heard he's a good guy. And look, when
I don't know him either.
I got sick. I've never met him. He sent me a really nice note, and I appreciated it. And he's probably a good guy. But for some reason, he finds his success or his on-air personality, alter ego as being that guy. And I just despise that type of sports talk.
I think that's kind of coached over there, isn't it?
I think it has
coached.
Been, Harry.
Yeah.
I think and that's and look, I've known Spike for 26 years. I think he was the one that put that mentality into the market when he was programming the station before he was a host. And I would tell Spike to his face, it's ridiculous. I worked with him at YSV. Way back in the day, he and I. YSV with DeBella. But I mean, that whole thing it's a bastardization of this industry.
Yeah. And
then to see like on NFL Network saying, oh, well, sports radio really has the voice of the people in this town. I go, no. Did you see that they cited that on NFL Network on some panel? That WIP is the voice of the fan?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what fans are saying this kind of garbage? A few nitwits and dopes and morons.
Well, I know they replayed DeCamera's question to Sirianni on Tuesday about benching the quarterback on Cowherd's show.
And his defense, or to his credit, he said it's ridiculous.
He said it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Sirianni did.
That's how he answered it. Yeah.
Yeah. The idea of benching Jalen Hurts.
Let me ask you a very, very important question.
Yeah.
You know what I do think about? I do think about what's the hotter take. When I hear a hot take like that, I always think, what's the hotter take? Jake Elliott missed a field goal. Jeffrey Lurie should sell the team. That's what needs.
Yeah.
If Jake Elliott missed another field goal, Jeffrey Lurie should sell the team.
Get rid of the windmills. They caused it.
That said, though, 48 yards indoors is kind of unmissable these days. You can't miss that kick.
It is unacceptable.
That's why Jeffrey Lurie needs to sell the team.
Right.
That's why Jeffrey. You missed a kick indoors. They should probably move the team to I don't know, Albuquerque. That's what they should do.
Then you get a Twitter poll question. Should the Eagles put a dome on the stadium? No. Jake Elliott missed one indoors.
All right. Do the Eagles get right against the Raiders? If
they don't beat the Raiders and the Commanders, they've got 3 games of their last 4 against 2 of the worst teams in the NFL right now. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs. The Raiders have lost 7 straight. The Washington has lost 8 straight. Their quarterback is done for the rest of the year. I think they're shutting him down. I watched some of the game against Minnesota. It looked like they quit on the coaching staff. They're cooked. I don't think you're even going to get your typical division scare game out of them like we typically do. I really don't.
5 wins between the two teams, by the way.
And Geno Smith, if he does play, he's got a bad shoulder. He leads the league along with Tua with 14 interceptions. He's got the second worst QBR in the league. The only guy worse is Cam Ward, who's a rookie. He's been sacked the most of anybody in the league, 49 times, along with Herbert is very close to that. I think Herbert's got 48 sacks after the 7-sack game this past week. So I expect more of the feeding frenzy, especially if Geno Smith is in there. And if he's not in there, it's Pickett. Small hands.
Small
Geno Smith out of West Virginia, Harry?
Yes, he is.
Mountaineer?
Yep.
Geno Smith, the first ever player to win Comeback Player of the Year, coming back from being terrible at football. So congratulations.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. That should have been Brandon Graham's award, but whatever. Bury it.
They'll win this week.
All right. They win this week. What's the score, Jason?
24-11.
Ooh.
Modest. Like it.
Okay.
Harry likes it.
Harry?
The Raiders give up about 25, 26 points a game on defense. So I'm going to say that what's the wind report for Sunday afternoon? Because I'm going to be in Florida. So I don't really know what the
look at
weather's.
you.
He's got the wind report, so he knows if he needs to pull 7-iron or 5
No, I'm not
iron
playing
from a
golf, dude. How many
58.
times do I got to tell you?
Yeah, but you're always playing golf.
All right, so
And if you're not
Sunday.
playing,
snowy.
you're thinking about it.
Oh,
supposed to be
dude,
snowy in the
32
morning.
degrees. It's going to be nasty on Sunday here.
Boy, oh boy.
85% chance of snow, a low
Holy
of
fuck.
17.
Is that 32 sustained, Harry, or is that gusts?
That's not the wind. That's the temperature.
Oh, you don't
Yeah.
have the gust report?
Well, let me
Can we get a
check.
surf report while we're at it here,
Let
too,
me
Harry?
check. The wind gusts will be up to 30 miles per hour on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Could you
it's gonna-
imagine going to that game on Sunday in that
No.
weather, and if they lose to the Raiders,
They're not
thinking
going to
about
lose.
the money you threw out your sunroof?
23 to 10 Eagles.
Wow.
23-10.
Yeah.
I'm 24-11. Harry's 23-10.
There you go.
Color me optimistic. I'm 31-17. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
All right.
Harry Mays, Jason Martinez, Marc Farzetta, Locked On Eagles Squad show. Luigi greatly apologizes for not being able to make the show today.
No, he doesn't.
I'm gonna
say
say
an apology.
I'm gonna say bad clubhouse guy. Locker room poison. Locker room poison. That Louis DiBiase. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys do check out Louis for all your daily Locked On Eagles content. Harry Mays, Jason Martinez, Marc Farzetta. Like and subscribe. Locked On Eagles Squad show. We'll catch you guys next week. See you guys then. Bye.